Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem Ajmi, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. We got a great before I do that, man, we got a great week ahead of you. We got a great week ahead of you. Hope that you could join us every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. DKM Media Group and Associates. Hope that you could join us. We'd love to have you. You can certainly actually be a part of the conversation as well. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. Love to have you as a part of the conversation. Love to have you as a part of the discussion about what we're going to talk about today. Now, how's your shopping coming along? Everybody, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all out there jumping up and down and running up and down the street, man, trying to get, or the most of y'all do y'all shopping online. Let's talk about that for a second. Do you do your Christmas shopping? Most of the time, do you do your Christmas shopping online, or do your Christmas shopping in person? Some people love to excuse me. Some people love to touch the topic, the items before they purchase it. I've always been a kind. I do buy stuff online. I do, but a lot of
I'm
times,
more of a toucher.
yeah. Oh, Badger, you're back. You ain't even turn your camera on. How am I supposed to know you're back, man? You ain't even turn your doggone camera on this morning, man. What are you doing over there, Badger? Badger, but and good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Now, Badger, you say you're more, and I'm like you, man. I like to, when I go and I buy something, I want to be able to put my hands on it. I want to, touch the durability. How durable is it? Is it this? Is it that? I like to be able to put my hand in it and touch it and to feel it. And just what I like to do. But a lot of times in this day and time, people don't like having to go through all the rushing, go through all the line, people all over you and hanging all over you and stuff like that when you go into the different stores,
Hmm.
because there's so many people in there, especially in this COVID situation that we're in right now, that we really are still in. People say it's over, but it's not over. So how do you feel about that, Badger?
Man, that's. I'd rather not deal with like people, especially in certain stores.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the issue online is it's becoming more well known that there are a lot of things that's been getting false um, ratings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now it's like even harder to know if it's actually decent quality or not
Yeah.
before you ever get to see it or touch it. And I'm sitting there
Mm-hmm.
going, "Why- like, what are we supposed to do to get good quality? But at the same time, you're gonna, if you want true good quality, you're gonna pay like 10 times as much anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, the old folks used to say it all the time, man. You get what you pay for. You can spend $2 for it, but you'll be spending $2 for it 100 times, because you're gonna keep buying the same thing over and over and over again. But if you put a little extra money into it, you get they think you get a little extra quality.
Well,
Watch this. Go ahead, Badger.
well, it's like a lot of the older stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I know a lot of the older people that they still have some of their old blenders and an old fridge and different
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They it it still works to this day.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
never had to replace it. And
Mm-hmm.
the issue is well, the companies weren't making no money from it.
Mm-hmm.
So why should they make something that's high quality if they're in business?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How are they going to make a profit? They got
Exactly.
to make things be able to break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how they do it. That's exactly how they do it. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
All right. How about you all? Good
Hey,
morning.
doing good, doing good. Tucson, what kind of shopper are you, man? Do you like shopping online? Where you, is this is it, because it's very convenient. Go find what you want, hit that button, you buy it, you bought it. Or are you like me and Badger, say we like to go in the store and be able to touch it. We like to be able to feel it, look at it, make sure it's what we want, make sure everything is right on it. How do you do that thing? How do you conduct yourself in regards to shopping?
Mm, well, I'll get some stuff online sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Take that risk.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, sometimes it don't fit because it's come from some of it come from a different country,
Yeah, exactly.
and some people's large ain't your large.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you get
They're having looks like they're having some tech issues this morning. They'll be right back.
Stuff. No, that's me refreshing. Mm-hmm. That was me refreshing.
so
Imagine.
y'all, yeah, did we lose each other for a minute?
No. No, we can still hear.
Oh, okay.
I was just refreshing
we
No,
something.
gotta
we
go to
couldn't hear him.
red. Yeah, you got to go through red tape to send it back and get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the thing about when I go to the store, I look at what I want. I ain't gonna be in that store for long.
No.
I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to. I know my size, even though I'm still growing, and, and I get it. And I'll try it on in the store maybe, and then I'm gone. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, depends on what the product is. I want to see it at least. I want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And some things when y'all said that, I didn't know what y'all was talking about. I like touch it, feel it. I said, Lord, what's the conversation they got going on here?
Oh, see, no. It's your mindset, brother.
No.
That was your mind. That was your mind.
No. Then I thought about it. Badger's talking. Oh, it's legit.
He said Badger legit. Okay.
Since it's Badger talking, it's legit. It ain't no way I think so. I ain't got to worry about that one. But no, man.
So basically, I'm the bad one.
Oh no! I didn't say that because what I do know, you ain't gonna be the bad one.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. Because you know why I say that?
Why's that?
Your wife ain't gonna tolerate it.
You got that right. You got that, and look here, and she off this week. Well, next couple of weeks she's off, and so man, it's rough for me even to get up out of that bed, man. Well, man, and man, look here, boy, look here. So I know she's gonna be watching this morning. So yeah, it's a whole different situation.
Yeah, so you better behave yourself. I was hoping that now we're gonna wait till Wednesday. I want to get to that topic you was talking about. But yeah, no, I ain't gonna go there this morning. But
you know, feet to the fire.
Oh no, what?
You talking about feet to the fire?
Yes, indeed.
Oh no,
Let's do it.
If we're gonna do that one, that's gonna be Friday. It's gonna be feet to the fire Friday.
Okay, because
we're not gonna be here Friday.
I got some boxing gloves in my car in the back seat.
Lord Jesus, these dudes are ready for feet to the fire Friday. They ready for it. Badger, we might work out a little something, man. We might work. Badger said he ain't gonna be here. What you mean you ain't gonna be here Friday?
I can try, but I'm going to visit my father-in-law Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. First lady ain't gonna let you get on the line, but you supposed to be with family time. You ain't gonna. Yeah. I understand. I understand how they go. But Tucson, you said something. You said something too on Tucson. You said that a lot of times one lodge ain't your lodge, and that's right. That's right because I know I'm trying to be careful how I say this.
Careful.
Yeah. I've dealt with some sisters in the past, whereas
careful.
They lodge was a little different from look at Patrick. Other people lodge because they could boost they could boost they could boost was a little different. And so, they could boost was, and it's large. They were large, but they got that added caboose. And Tucson, because they had that added caboose, they large had to be a little different. Large than a large, than a regular large is the large. Know what I mean about the large?
Yeah. Not only that, now be careful about how I say it for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not talking about large community coffee cup. Community coffee cup.
Yes, sir.
I like how much y'all are walking on eggshells. It's hilarious.
Hey, some large ain't the regular large. Badger, you know, now you get some large cups, and it's is different from another large cup. You know what I mean?
Raheem,
Yes.
Raheem, I just had a thought. There's a large with no with no caboose.
Oh.
I'll be in the corner.
Badger, go ahead, Badger. We looking for you to save us this morning, Badger. Go ahead, talk to me, brother. A large and large, because a large sometimes is a large. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only thing I can say about that is
keep it large.
No, I mean, I can't wear a large shirt because my shoulders are too broad. I always have to get extra large shirts.
There you go. Yeah, because your large is a different large than everybody else's large.
I'm built like a bull. So now I just got to get rid of this gut so they fit right.
Okay, see, you need a different kind of large. You need a different kind of large. See, everybody's large ain't large. 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. We ready to go. I'm gonna wait till I get a few more people on the phone line because and then when we get some more people on the phone line, we're gonna jump over on the Twitch line. Not the Twitch, but the what's the word I'm looking for? TikTok line. We're gonna jump on the TikTok line. So TikTok will be with us. Probably about 8 o'clock. We'll be on the TikTok line as well. So we'll get that crowd in, and so we might get a different kind of audience, but it's okay. I love my TikTok listeners. Yes, what you got?
Whose responsibility is it for how our communities are right now?
Everybody's. Should be. But not everybody take the responsibility.
How does one go about teaching that?
By speaking truth. And not at the fallacies, not at the falsehoods of what some people, and when I say some people, it could be black, white, orange, polka dot, or whatever it is, try to spew out there. Because you got a lot of people that's gonna try to speak false narratives. And if don't nobody step up and say something to them, it's going to spread. Like the old folks say all the time, and a lie travel across the country before the truth get out of bed. Before the truth get out of bed, the lie doesn't travel across country. We have to kill the lie.
So how do we hold those responsible for the lie?
Not let them, not when they say something, cut them down. I like the way that what's his name, man? He was running for president against Obama. He passed a couple of years ago. What was his name? McCain. I love the way he did it when the lady was up there and she was talking false narratives about Obama, about he's a Muslim and he's this and he's that. And McCain said no, took the mic from her, said no, he's not. He's a good man. He's a good man. He's not what you say he is. We just have different views in along the line of politics. We have different views in the line of politics. He's a good man. I'm not gonna let you say that about him. And he killed it right there. And that when he did that right there, that went across the board, and everybody saw that, and everybody had another appreciation for Mr. McCain because of the fact that he killed that narrative. He could have sit there and let her say whatever she wanted to say. He could have sit there and let her say anything she wanted to say and continue that conversation, continue that narrative, but he refused to do that. He refused to do that. He like Barney Fife said, he nipped it in the bud. And so that's what we have to do, man. You remember Barney Fife? I see you smiling over there. But my thing is this right here, man. You have to kill it. If somebody's saying something in your company and you know it's not right, don't just try to get in and fit in. Just kill it. Nah, man, that's not true, man. Where you get that from, bro? Who told you that? Really? Well, look here. This is how the thing really went down. This is how the thing really happened. What you saying is wrong. And kill it. What do you say, Toussaint?
Yeah. I mean, you can carry a conversation on to the point where some people will change it, and you just ride with the change. We get in a circle, we start a statement, and by the time the conversation of the circle gets back to you, you say, I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Because people hear what they want to.
Exactly.
But you control the narrative. And when you said, I don't know what the question was that Badger asked, but I'm clear about what I thought about the answer was.
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible? And you can only you don't not necessarily control is a bad word, but it starts with you. And okay, if you want a better community, you got to make your home better.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be better. You got to be better and influence you got to be an influence on your circle.
Yeah.
And if your circle is an influence on you, and that circle that's an influence on you is a bad circle, change your circle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it does, if you're it's kind of like if you're the well, let me not say that, but if you get into a conversation or you're around people that are negative, you become a negative person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And see, sometimes you're so negative you don't even know you're negative. You think everything you say is just, oh, that's the way I think, and people, and you don't even. I never did understand how when people say, well, nobody want to be bought. Every time I go somewhere, nobody want to be fooled with. Nobody want to. Well, it can't be every circle that you get in is jacked up. You jacked up.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
You the one.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's wrong with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I know in my life, I had to realize, well, I'll be doggone. I'm the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to change my conduct,
Yes, sir.
my actions, in order to make life better, not only for me, but for the people that are around me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the hardest thing for us to accept, that it's in us.
Yeah.
You got to become the change you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Be that change.
But we don't want to do that because we don't want to change.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Badger, ask that question. Pose that question one more time.
Who is responsible for where our communities are today?
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I wanted to make sure I had the question
And
correct.
notice I said are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Cap, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How about yourself? Good morning.
Hey, doing good. Doing good. Good to have you, sir. Good to have you with us. How would you answer that question? Who is responsible?
Ask the question. I didn't hear it.
Ask it one more time, Badger.
Who is responsible for our communities today?
The way they are.
Who are responsible for our community?
The way our communities are today.
Who's responsible for the way our communities are? Is that what he asked?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. In other words, I want to be very clear. Who's responsible for our community in the shape and the condition it's in? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot of hands in that soup, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't pinpoint no one person responsible. There's a lot of people that are responsible. A lot of why our community in this condition, we can lay that at the doorstep of many people. I think that's a very hard one to answer. I can't sit there and say no one particular organization, entity, or I just can't. I wouldn't be able to answer that like that. I just do believe that the blame, the real responsibility of why our community is, who should accept responsibility, should be, I believe, if it's the Black community talking about, I believe that we as black men should accept the responsibility for why our community is in this condition, no matter if there was some outside entity that played a role in putting us in that condition.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make me accept nothing unless I want to accept it. So we're not going to play the blame game and say, well, you know, it's the system. The system has been designed for us not to be successful and da-da-da-da-da. I just believe sincerely that we as men have to take responsibility because I just don't believe that our community should be in this condition if we as men step up and accept our responsibility to protect our women, our children, our elderly. I believe that we would accept our responsibility as men, we wouldn't be in this condition. I don't give a doggone who tried to put in this condition. I think we would be standing very strong to fight anything that's negative or anything that's not only destructive, but anything that creates us to be self-destructive. So I do believe that we as men have to accept the responsibility. Why the community? I know, again, there's a lot of factors. It could be a systematic racism. It could be many things. But I do believe that I am responsible. I do believe we are responsible as men to make our community a safe and decent place to live.
Good deal. And I love the way you said that, because if everybody took that stance and say, I am responsible, if every man took that responsibility and said that I am responsible, then I think we'll have a better a grasp on this thing. If in every community, if everyone says, I'm responsible, I take the responsibility, and if they took it personal like that, to bring the good to the community and bring us together, I think that's a big part of the pie right there. That's a big slice of the pie right there. If we just took that responsibility, yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, good morning. Rico is with him. Coming to you next, brother. Mr. Hicks, what do you say to that? Who's responsible for the communities being as they are today? And good morning. And good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, Glow family. Any question? Can I listen for a little longer?
Absolutely.
Gather my thoughts.
Absolutely. Rico, there you go. Rico, who's responsible, brother? Who's responsible for our communities being as they are right now? And when I say our community, I mean across the board. And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just trying to enjoy another beautiful new day, man. Grateful to see another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I can sort of answer that question with the question. Who's responsible for innocent people being convicted for crimes they didn't do? It's those people that develop systems that we live under. So the question might be, who's responsible for the conditions that society is under right now? Who allows the guns to be manufactured and won't put regulation or oversight on it to prevent people from having shootings like in Las Vegas that kill so many people? Who's producing the food, even though we consuming it, but who's studying man enough to know that they could produce food that really is unhealthy for us? Knowing that we are human beings that may be distracted by convenience or may be distracted by the rat race and the system that is designed for us to have to get out and survive, work, make money, work more than one job, sometimes steal just because you don't have access. Who's responsible for you not being able to buy seeds that when you plant food, you won't get seeds out of that food to plant more seeds, but you got to go there and buy some more seeds? I mean, because we don't control that anymore. Exactly. If you do want to go and start a garden, somebody has found a way to control that system of survival and make it to where you have to pay to survive. You have to pay to continue growing this food that you used to get your seeds out of your own and start another crop for next year. You can't do that anymore. Now you got to go and you got to pay. So whoever invented this system of income finances, and capitalism. The system that says, you know what, since there's a desire and a demand for that, let's make people pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to pay to play. Now you got to pay to live. Now you got to pay to survive. Now you got to pay to sleep. Now you got to pay to have access and exposure just to a quality life. It's very simple. Those people that own and control the things that we need to survive and actually influence us, have the power to influence us and tell us what is more important. Influence is so huge. So yes, we all can easily say, well, I'm going to take responsibility in my community. Well, show me how much responsibility you can take when it's time to get a man that's innocent of a crime out of prison, but the system is working against him to hide that evidence. I don't think you can say, get this man another court trial. I'm going down to this courthouse today. I want y'all to go get him and bring him down here because they've been hiding witnesses. I got people right here that can verify that this man was not there to do that crime. And I mean, I want him down here now. Get that judge out that bed and get this man out of prison. And some people have to wait 27, 30 years.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Who is responsible for our community being as it is today? Who is responsible? Mr. Hicks, you want to comment on that right now? You want to circle back around to you?
Yes, I'll try. It's a complicated question.
Yes.
And not easily heard. If we well, you know, when you base the foundation is based off certain kind of mythology or metaphors you got about life, we have about life. I think that when I go back to my foundation, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this was an experiment, and that it was a necessary thing to bring out of us what was hidden, something about our character and our very nature. Responsibility. Who's responsible for it? It's allowed by the Creator, obviously. Sometimes I understand we can't see how all the violence, all the destruction of the 6,000 rule of this mind that dominated the earth, but it's all headed to an end. It's almost like you need the suffering in our individual lives to make us understand certain spiritual principles that we just overlooked. I think that the responsibility of this here rests with knowing the knowledge of who God is and who the devil is. Because we've always had this in our psyche. We've always had this kind of thing of God, the devil, within the adventure of hell and heaven above us. A mystery God, a mystery devil. I think that the responsibility goes back to this war that's going on, a war against a war of right against wrong. But the responsibility, you want to take it on individual. Like I came in the world. You would like to think that I came in the world to change the world, to make the world a better place, as if it needs my help, it needs my attention to make things come out to a good end. But I think ultimately, it's a drive toward consciousness. I tried a new consciousness on the globe, a new thing that's trying to come into existence. But when you look at humanity as a whole, then you look at us as a people as a whole. There's no doubt that the world has taken our genius, taken what we have, all the industries. You know, look at the music industry, sports industry, all those things. We're at the top of it, but we have no control over our services. They can clock us out anytime we just step outside the line. There's responsibility, hard to find. Hard to say who's responsible. I didn't make any of this stuff. I just came into this world. I didn't contribute to this on a physical level. But if we take the concept that we came here from somewhere and we're going somewhere, and this space of time that we live on the earth is a period of us impacting the whole, and we pack the whole by starting right where we are inside of ourselves. changing those defects we find inside our character and then strengthen our families. When the family is gone, when the definition of man is gone and the woman is gone and God is gone, we operate in a vacuum that the destruction that's going to bring is going to bring about a consciousness. There's no birth of a baby without suffering and blood, and very, very painful. And I feel that's who we are. The responsibility, I don't know.
Wow.
I really don't know. I have situations develop my life where people outside myself try to place on me what my responsibility are with that situation. And so you have to stand up to recognize that, hey, I got work to do inside my own house, inside my own family, inside my own heart. And I got to get that straight before I even try to venture out and try to change the world.
That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Badger, who's responsible?
All of us.
And how so?
Well, we live in a country where there is a system that we should be able to vote for things. Be able to vote who's representing us and who ain't. And it should work. Unfortunately, politicians have made sure the laws are really good for them to have their own pockets full. And I agree with Rico. I also agree with Hicks. I agree with everyone this morning. The responsibility is on the individual and the household. It's all across the board. Those that work their hardest to walk in light, the ones that do things to keep us down.
Why do you think not everyone is taking on the responsibility?
Well, I think their minds are too distracted in other things. As a good example, those of us that are older, I'm going to use the gaming community as an example here. We used to play games and it took strategy. It took a thought process, to be good at even a war game like Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that. Nowadays, they design everything to be fast paced, to trigger certain mental responses. We have a responsibility of, do we feed into it or do we not? The economy is so stressful nowadays that they can't afford anything outside of a game to get some of those reactions. So there's so much going on when we talk about responsibility, because it is the responsibility of the whole. And it goes back to that saying I use all the time. Be responsible for yourself and to others. It brings it full circle every time. And it goes, how you raise your kids, how you inform people, eventually does, I guess, what you could call the butterfly effect. If you can inform one person and get them to click, and then they go inform one person and it clicks over time. The whole thing with the gun issues, you got politicians that are wanting to, regulate the guns. You got the other set that doesn't. And you look at the American people, especially being in Texas, you don't bring that up here. You just leave that one alone. And to me, I'm like, I wonder if all the people with the guns, right? Why don't they all just move to Texas? And those of us that don't, we'll go to a different state, so that way the laws in one state might be different from the other state. That's how they're running things anyway. So we can't just blame the folks in power when we as the American people outnumber them.
That's good. That's good.
There are laws that we can use. So yes, do they influence us? Yes, do they affect how we can see things or do things? Absolutely. the way the laws are, the regulations, the fear base, the fear mongering that they do with innocent people, throwing them in jail, that's all fear tactics. What kind of influence does that do to somebody? Oh, well, if I speak up or I do something, they're going to trap me and just throw me in jail, and it causes fear. And what do people do in fear? Fight or flight.
Good deal.
Most flight.
Toussaint, talk to me.
Well, you know what I want to say? I want to thank you, Raheem, for allowing me to be a part of this band of people that you think that you have an answer, but you hear a different perspective.
Yeah.
And it makes you rethink. Because sometimes we think we can control a narrative until something happens to take it out of your control. Rico made me think about that. Because you can't even control the food that you get from the grocery store. Because you don't know what's in it.
Exactly.
The shoes you might have on your feet might be making you sick. And you don't even know it. Badger said something, you know what I thought about when Badger said it?
What's that?
Well, there was always more slaves than slave masters. But they still made them slaves. You control it because you're the majority. Well, look at our governments. The people are the majority, but the government have control. So, really, when it comes to it, the only thing you can control, and then you don't have that much control over you, because even your body might turn on you. You think you got it all together until the doctor give you a bad report, and then your whole mindset changes. You don't even know whether you want to live or die.
Yes, sir.
Now you want to stay in bed all day and get sicker. Because just because you don't even know what's going on. So I'm gonna listen and learn. Listen and learn.
Exactly.
See if we can come up with something.
Absolutely.
But thank you, man.
Anybody else have anything they want to say on this one?
Yeah, man, it's about
research.
You can sacrifice a lot and choose not to participate in certain behaviors, but you do have to understand, we do all to a certain extent have a part to play in the reason why the conditions of the society is the way it is, to a certain extent. But then when you go back and ask yourself, it sort of goes back to the question that was asked to Kanye. Well, I don't even say the question that was asked, the statement he made about the slaves wanting to be slaves. So I want to ask people this. When the United States government decided to use their own military planes to bomb Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, did those people have a choice on whether or not those planes came through there and dropped those bombs? They weren't responsible for that. It was the system in place. So there is an illusion of freedom, an illusion of choice, an illusion of free will. But then you ask yourself, well, why did the slaves remain slaves if they was outnumbered? The slaves didn't have that click, click, bang, bang, bang that the slave masters had. They didn't have the man-made tools and systems in place to make sure they can maintain control of these individuals who didn't have a right to do what they wanted to do. that means they didn't have no kind of responsibility in the conditions of that society they lived in.
Mm-hmm.
They just tried to make the best out of it. So we do have an illusion that everybody is responsible, but there is a system in place that have created weapons of mass destruction and technology like the NSA that will give executive orders and override all of your rights to do what they want to do, and you don't have any control over that. And that's the society we live in, the society that they created, the conditions that what they created, that we don't have any control over. And once again, if you speak this to a person, if a person that's locked up in prison right now can call, and he's convicted, looking at trying to spare his life or save his life, but he know he didn't commit this crime, and he got a date. I heard a song, they put a date on it. They don't put a date on the day that he leave here.
Yeah.
And not only does he know he didn't do this crime, but he got witnesses. But the state has said that this witness isn't corroborative of whatever reason why they want to allow this testimony. The court has said only that, they did a 9/11 investigation, and the people involved in Bush's cabinet dictated what they can investigate and what they couldn't look into.
Wow. They're stacking the deck.
The people know.
They're stacking the deck. Yeah.
The people looked at the same videos everybody else saw and said, you know what? In the history of mankind and building structures like that, when they have been on fire, they can burn 19, 20 hours and they never demolish like that. They never implode like that. They might lean and some parts fall off. You've seen plenty of charred homes, never just disintegrate and just fall and collapse.
Yeah.
And they told us we saw something totally different. They told us what we're seeing, and they told us this is what happened. But we seen with our own eyes what the truth is. Do we have any control over that? Can we bring those people to justice that have created those conditions that led to the cause and effect of what we're living under now? Because right now we have all of our information being looked upon. Right now somebody could come in and click us out, turn this broadcast off, depending on what we say. We can be counseled for saying something that's true, and somebody just don't like the fact that this truth is coming out. Not the fact that they may need to say, yeah, we did this. Yeah, we are on all the contracts. Yeah, we did cause this situation to happen. But just because we don't want you to tell the truth, we're going to censor you. And you don't have a right to say this, and you don't have a right to say that. So, we should, our God-given right is that we should be the ones responsible, and we should have all the choices in the world to be free to think what we do what we want to do, as long as it doesn't hurt other people or impede on their rights. But the reality is when you get on your telephone, you have a choice to give up access for apps. And then sometimes you don't have a choice. Just utilizing certain technology has given your rights away, and you don't even know about it. Just using the telephone, just calling, using the telephone lets them know where you are by a ping. So you have an option. Don't use a telephone. Don't use today's technology. Yeah, you have the responsibility to make that choice on whether or not you want to use this technology. But for the most part, if you do want to
hold on, gentlemen.
If you do want to participate in this society, you have to give away some rights and some responsibilities that you don't realize you're giving away.
Wow. Are we? And see, that's I love what you said there, brother. But let me ask you this question: are they giving away or are they taking?
Oh, some are giving away and some are taking. You just can't put everything in one box. I mean, with executive orders, some things are taken. I mean, when you, like I said, just break it back down to the simple point. When you got these prisoners sitting on death row that's getting exonerated after 25 or 30 years, they didn't give that right away to be free. Their right to be free was taken away by somebody that decided they wanted to, lie about what this man did. And then somebody else decided, well, we got somebody that we got to lock up for doing this crime, so let's just go and keep him in jail and hide this evidence. Yeah, sometimes it's taken, sometimes it's given.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. And now, Badger, I think you had something to say, and Mr. Hicks, you had something on your heart as well. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, I vibe with a lot of what Rico's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our corrupt system, unfortunately, has a large, no, not a, it has had a large effect on all of our communities.
Mm-hmm.
All the lies and illusions that I work very hard to unteach in the white communities because there's a whole bunch of lies and junk, um, you know, dealing with a lot of that. And then there's, you know, the being a part of gaming communities and working with younger crowds, and then the LGBTQ community, mental health communities. You know, there's so much different aspects that are affecting us. See, here's the part that bothers me, and the reason why I asked the question is so you have the white community that's dealing with their style of junk, right? You have the mental health that's dealing with their style of junk. You've got the black community dealing with their style of junk, and so on, all across the board. But it's all coming from the same source.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Okay.
where I'm going?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And I think you're speaking of pretty much the government.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Let me go to Mr. Hicks. I think you had something on your heart as well, sir.
Oh yes, I was having a side conversation with the brother there, but I guess you know, I heard this teaching a long time ago that said that the black man was the original man.
Mm-hmm.
We were, and that he was put to sleep for a period of time, and that he's put to sleep to allow someone else to rule from a whole different paragon. His paragon was be using people as resource, using them as energy, using them as slaves. And this architect for this design came from otherworldly source. It was a experiment uh, executed by highly developed beings that people of ancient times called them gods because they lived so long and because they had technology they didn't understand. They had a lot of cultures where people in the Pacific, when the military was doing the operation, came with planes and gave out people food and supplies. And then even they found in 2000s where these people had constructed airplanes made out of bamboo and sticks uh, for weapons over their shoulders, like they observed the military doing. And they even had the USA flag and USA on their chest. And they looked at these people as gods. I think that the structures, they say the structures of a civilization came in 5,000 years ago in Sumner, where they laid down the architect for all the institutions that we have now today, and our systems of rule and even economics. So I think that if we go back to the responsibility living in this time of our sleep is it's been very tragic and very painful. But
Mm-hmm.
again, like I say, I think out of the pain will institute the desire for change. Dissatisfaction brings about a change. And when there's a small dissatisfaction, it's a small change. But when there's a universal dissatisfaction, it brings about a universal change.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing that what we see as real is not really real. It's just a projection. And
Mm-hmm.
we have to find our place inside of it. I think that our our responsibility at this moment in time is really, really, really studying and really trying to understand the past, which make us chart a path for the future.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't understand the past, what brought you to where you are, you're bound to repeat it because you don't see it.
Absolutely.
So I think the responsibility is recognizing the history of the past beyond the literature they gave us, beyond the canons of scripture that they gave us,
Mm-hmm.
but even researching those parts that they excluded and that they excluded out for their various reasons. So it requires studying and asking questions. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the greatest gift we have in our life, is to be able to ask questions.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
when you ask the question and someone say that that's a silly question, you shouldn't ask it. That's when you should pursue on your own course to find out answer to your question.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good, Captain.
Well, we in the Nation of Islam, we produce our own bread. We have over 100,000 of acres of farmland in Georgia, in Alabama, and the British Honduras. We produce our own produce. And why? It's because we've learned that even though somebody can control, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, keep your stomach out of the white man's kitchen. That makes sense. So when you ask community, who's responsible for the community we're in, ask the Asians, ask those in Chinatown. What do you think the answer would be?
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible for the community and the condition your community in? What do you think the Asians and the Chinese, if you ask the Jewish people, who is responsible for the condition that you're in? I wonder what the answer would be.
Mm-hmm.
The Italian community, the Irish community. They would have a different answer because they may not see the community in the same condition, which really not. They take responsibility, and even though they may not have came through the struggles and trials, that we have been systematically been targeted ever since we were brought here. But it's like in the nation, you may come with your condition, but you don't stay in that condition.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe we have the power today, to change our reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question that we got to be the best. Because despite all that has been done to us, and still to this day, we could talk about those who are being exonerated, but there's those who are being killed on the street, don't even go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be exonerated because they're dead. They was wrongly stepped over, they was stopped, they was wrongly accused, they was wrongly, you pulled a gun, blah, blah, blah. So it goes way. We do live, innocence is real, where we are targeted. But you can't tell me in my home, if I use the community like my home, I can't blame nobody if I don't pay my rent but me. Well, you let me go on my job. That's why I can't pay my rent, because I can't get no job. Okay. I'm not saying that these all the conditions that everybody talking about, these are layers and levels of an onion as we pulling back. The question is, Brother Raheem, we know we look at the condition, but do we have to live like this?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to take responsibility to change it? The way I believe, this is me talking. You want to change the condition of a community that look like it's going so down the tube that all we can do is talk about it? You mean to tell me we cannot pick any part of our community? I don't care if it's 100 men, 200 men, 3 families, 20 families, 100 families, and we make a decision. You know what? This side of town right here, we're not going to sit here and have people come in our community that are foreigners and set up business and take our dollars and leave our community with our dollars and invest in the areas that we're not even allowed. We're not going to do that over this side of town.
Yeah. We're
not going to allow guns in this community. Why? Because we're going to patrol it and make sure if you want to live over here, it has gun free. And if you get caught, when you're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to let drugs in this community, on this block, in this neighborhood. Why? Because we, a man said, we will not allow the drug dealers to set up shop over here. We're not going to allow molesters to come and run rapid stopping and picking up our girls anytime. No. We do have the power to change the reality. It is a problem. It is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to really change it, we can. We absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get everybody, but we got to have those who's willing. You got to be. We got to have those who say, you know what, Captain? But you know the reason why we can't do it? You know the reason we're steps in the way? It's because we let religion divide us. We let politics divide us. We let race divide us.
Mm-hmm.
We let people's social status divide us. And the reason we let all these stand in the way, we can't come together. We let gender divide us. But when we can get past gender, race, religion, politics, and social status and see the human being, we on our way to be able to create a community that's a decent and safe place to live. I know our communities turned upside down, tore up from the floor. But man, hey, I don't have to live over there. I don't have to live in this condition. I do believe we have the reality. And once we choose to do that, then we can ask the question, who's responsible? We're responsible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because we created it. We created this environment. We created this neighborhood that would make it drug-free, gun-free, molest-free, and everything else. Now if it messed up, I can say we created it. So we're responsible. Now we not be responsible for a community we didn't create. We, as Brother Rico, see, we know who created that. Now we can't be responsible for that. So I like to talk about what we can do, because people don't believe we can do it. So what's wrong? The only reason Mama said, study the white man for he make no excuses for his failure. Am I right, Nick? Am I right, Nick?
Yes.
Didn't he say that?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Study the white for he make no excuses for his failure. That's what was taught to us in the nation. Study him. He's successful in all he's undertaking. Why? He's not confused on his objective. We're confused on our objective. So there's much that I've learned being in the nation. So when we talk about what you got, now that ain't the nation. No, man, we got our own bread, our own pies, our own bacon. We got our own butcher shop. We butcher our own animals. We got our own wheat. We produce our own. We try to be a nation within a nation like everybody else.
Good deal. Good deal.
We don't on Monday, we ain't going down there and just like today, going down to the juvenile hall and get our kids out of the detention center, not in the nation. So when we say everybody, but we live in the community. So it's like Jesus said, I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. We in the community, but we ain't of the community.
Good deal. Good deal.
And I hope that our presence would change that reality.
Oh, look. All right, preacher. We got to move on now, preacher. Preacher, we got to move on now. But I love it, brother. Love that. Let me see. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Toussaint, you there? Toussaint.
I was fumbling with a mute button.
Okay.
That doggone thing was something else.
It sounds like it's winning.
Say it again.
It sounds like the mute button is winning.
Yes, it wins. There's so much control we got. We should see what happens if the phone go dead.
Exactly. I wanted to switch up. I wanted to switch up for a second. Go ahead. You want to say something on that? Anybody have anything they want to say on that last topic? I want to switch. I got another question for you.
No, I got one thing.
Okay.
I was thinking about how we develop a community. There has been a history of people that have developed a community, made it sort of like a separation and a safe haven for those that are in the community. And now it's underwater. That's all I want to say.
Okay. And it's underwater. Exactly. And to that point, Oscarville. Some those of you that know what Oscarville is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Rico.
And I think I like everything Cap said. We do have to think about the community that exists inside a society, a nation within a nation. And some of those communities, they are responsible for how that community exists. and it's determined by what they choose to participate in, what they choose to allow and condone, and what they choose to, not allow. But I think about people that want to go outside of that community to make a change in other communities and societies and change systems. We have people that came before us, plenty, that tried to make a move. And they said some things that needed to be said because that was their responsibility to address what the real issues are.
Yes.
These people were named John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. And a system slaughtered them, killed them. So you can exist in your community, in this society. But once you start speaking against certain systems,
come on,
that's in place, then you can be a victim of homeland terrorism too, just like Tulsa, Oklahoma was, just like John F. Kennedy was, from his own system.
Yeah.
People in that system that benefited from the death and destruction and all the chaos that came with it, that wanted him dead for trying to not allow certain things and to be thrust upon society and communities. Martin Luther King Jr. that said, well, you know what? I've been getting a lot of support, and I got the same momentum that Jesus has. People around the world love me, and they know my message because they know I come in with peace and goodwill for all of mankind, not just my black people. Now I'm speaking out against this military industrial complex. Yeah, out of here. So it's a matter of being responsible. If you choose to be quiet, safe, and exist and survive in this system that has you being quiet and ignoring other things that you might want to talk about because you feel like it's your responsibility. But if you bring it up, you might come up missing forever.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this particular topic? I got another I want to go to real quickly. Okay. I'm going to ask this question right here, and we might shake it up a little bit. I'm going to go to Tucson. Let me go to Tucson on this one. Tucson, you there? Find that mute button, brother. Ready to come to you.
I got it.
Okay, good deal. What is Tucson? And I want to hear you from your heart of hearts. What is the angry black woman? What is an angry black woman? And throughout history, is she justified in being such?
Oh, it's a angry black woman is neglected by irresponsible black man. The result. That's just my answer. That's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it. So we're supposed to be the protector, and we have lost our place, and because we've lost our place or just neglected or walked away from our responsibility, it gives them, it caused them to just have to stand up and be a man, and they're mad about it. Now some don't have no choice but to be the man.
Wow.
And they're mad at you for it. They are angry at you, and that's just my answer. I don't have to be even right. I'm just saying.
So is she justified throughout history? Historically, is she justified in being an angry black woman if that's what she is?
In some way or another. I mean, you can either adjust to it and deal with it and do what you have to do, which some are doing. They don't need you. They don't need you no more. That's why they do without you. Because they have adjusted. We evolve. We're known to evolve and deal with whatever we face. You can adjust. And that's what I believe. I don't have to be right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe has happened. They've got used to you not being in the home for whatever reason. They say, well, okay, I'm going to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm still upset because all you got to do is come up to me and say, hey, girl, what's your name?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And she be like, nigga, please, I can do my thing
Wow.
without you.
Wow. This is the Morning Glow. This is the Morning Glow. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. And what we're talking about right now, we got a lot of topics, but what we're talking about right now is what is an angry Black woman? And historically, is she justified in being such? Cassandra, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, what is an angry Black woman? And historically, throughout the history of time, is she justified? If she is an angry Black woman, is she justified in being such?
Yeah, she is justified in being angry for so many different reasons.
Okay.
I mean, that is from how she is treated in society to how she's treated in her own home a lot of times.
Wow.
So she has a reason to be angry. I just hate, when people label us like that, because when you're tired and you're frustrated and you keep seeing the same injustices and immoral things happening to you, I mean, who would not get frustrated? Who would not get angry? When people say that, I wish they would think about all the things that Black women have been through throughout and still go through right now, even when it comes to, once again, our relationships and business. It's a lot. So we can call her an angry Black woman or whatever we want to, but I think that's an indictment on our people and on society for making her that way.
Wow. Making her that way. That's a powerful part right there of making her that way.
Sort of go back to what we just finished talking about. Who's responsible?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Rico.
Her or the system and conditions that made the angry Black woman. Something made her angry. For some reason, she can't stop being mad if she's angry.
Yeah.
Is she responsible for that, or is there a system in place? Like that song. We tried to change the subject, but to a certain extent, they still apply.
Stay the same. Yeah.
Still applies. Who's responsible for that angry Black woman, that stereotype? And see, that's the thing about it. Now, that stereotype, that characterization that's associated with Black women. You have some Black men that get that same stereotype too. The one that sit back and say, sit your tail down somewhere. You ever seen Martin and you had a man tell her, sit your, you know what I'm saying? He the rough looking man,
Yeah.
I love that dude, man. But the thing is if it's justifiable. So what you have to ask yourself is if you do run across this woman that has that title of an angry Black woman, what is she angry about? Because some things they may be angry about, she have to point the finger at herself.
Yeah.
Same thing with the angry Black man. You have to ask yourself if he's justifiable or justified in being angry based on what he's angry about. So the same thing applies to that angry Black woman. If a Black woman tells me, well, I'm an angry Black woman and I got a right to be angry, sounds like a sort of like an entitlement. But I've seen some real nasty little attitudes in the last 20 or 30 years from my sisters that don't have nothing to do with our history, our conditions, but it got to do with the right to be able to bust it open when you want to and be free. Feminism gone wild. You know, the immoral side of it, the ones that feel like, well, if y'all could do it, why we can't do it? Why is it then when y'all do it, y'all don't get called certain names, but when we do it, y'all get called these names. We should be able to be just as immoral and filthy as the nastiest man. But we said it was right. So you angry now because you can't go be a whore?
Hey.
You can't be promiscuous? And you got to get a name and a title with it? Well, 2 wrongs might not make it right, but it sure make it even. So you mad now. So you're going to react and respond and do the same negative things because other people did these negative things and get away with it. And you mad because they get away with it and you can't. No, can't beat them and join them. So what are you really and truly angry about? Because I can see plenty of instances where a black woman deserves to be angry. Especially when she's been disrespected or categorized or looked at or put in a situation where she didn't deserve to be in. Same thing with black men. But then I can also see plenty of situations where some of this entitled, angry black woman behavior is all based on the fact that they think they're queens. And they deserve, and they, as a black woman, I deserve to have this and that just because. No, why do you deserve to be treated like a queen, and why do you deserve to be angry? Why is it justifiable? So I really think it does apply based on what they are angry about. You know, if you tell me what you're angry about, and you might not want to tell me your business, but if you know that's the way you want to come off as you're justified to be this angry black woman. You know, hopefully you can at least tell me why, because I might be able to agree.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. Share the broadcast. Like it. Send me all them hearts and all the different stuff. Send it to us, man. We work hard around here. We work hard to bring y'all great content every day. And we here Monday through Friday from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join the broadcast. We love to have you as a part. We TikTok, we got you on with us now. TikTok, come on. The phone number is 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We are live. Badger, what is an angry black woman, and historically, is she justified in being one?
I don't know.
Okay. I
guess like the only ones I'm aware of are the ones that
be careful, Badger.
where the men left didn't take responsibility. Those are the only ones I've ever met.
Okay.
So, and to me, they have a right to be angry and upset. So I don't know what else to say outside of that, because every single one I've met, their reason is valid.
Okay. Leonard, what do you say today? Good morning, Leonard. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Hey, we got you Monday morning. We got you Monday morning, brother. We got you on a good one, man. What is an angry black woman, and historically, is she justified in being angry?
Well, they can be angry about anything or whatever, and the justification ain't a big deal. That's their business. She can be angry all she wants to be. That's her choice.
Just be mad.
If you want to, just be mad.
I can't.
I mean, what can I do about it? What can I do about it, Raheem? What? I'm gonna be sitting around worried about why you mad. No.
Lord.
Not even with an open schedule. When I sit around and worry about why you mad.
Well, what you mad for?
I mean, hey, if you want to talk about it, hey. If you don't, you don't. If you just want to be mad, be mad. Like my mother used to say, everybody else gonna be over here having a good time. You can go sit in the corner and pout. But what I'm not gonna let you do is ruin what's going on over here.
Exactly. That's good. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what is an anger? Hold on. I think we've been here already. Hold on. Let me go to Cap. Cap, what's on your heart, brother? Looking at my list here. Cap, what is an angry black woman, and is she justified in being such?
Well, let me see this. I'm kind of smart enough not to answer that one. I'm gonna just pass the mic. Ask the women. You know, I like I'm gonna be limited. I'm gonna take and be limited. See, I don't bother myself with those kind of things, right? See myself, I don't deal with things. If you want to be, I'm gonna take Linda. I'm gonna be Linda today. I don't bother myself with those kind of things, right? I'm through with that conversation. You can take it to somebody else.
But watch this. Watch this. Let me pull you into some of the trouble with me, Captain. Is she even justified? We ain't gonna talk about being angry, but throughout the barrels of history, if she is angry, is she justified in being so?
Yes, of course, man. If there's any woman on the planet, it's definitely justified. If there's any woman that is justified, it has to be the black woman. There is no question. She is justified, Brother Wright.
She is, Cassandra. You are justified. If you're angry, Cassandra, you are justified. What do you say to that?
I mean, personally, I'm not angry. I think people think that I'm angry, but I'm not. What you perceive as anger for me is always assertiveness and passion. It's not angry. I'm not angry at anybody. I'm just passionate about the things that I believe in, and I'm going to stand on them, and no one is going to shake me from that. I know what I have been through as a woman that I didn't ask for. I didn't put myself in that situation, and that bothers the heck out of me. That people keep, a lot of people have the mentality that women just, put yourself there. Well, I don't know what situation you could put yourself in where someone mistreating you is justified. I don't care. And I've said this before, I don't care if you're dealing with the prostitute. If she's out there selling her body, you have no damn right, excuse my language, you have no right to take what she is selling. That if she's selling her body, she's selling her body. You don't want to buy it, don't buy it. But you don't have the right to take it. So I'm just that clear on it. I'm that clear, or I'm that girl. I don't believe that there is any justification for somebody abusing or misusing, playing games with people just because, they can. That's male or female, though, for that part.
Wow, it's good. That's good. Toussaint, you had your hand up, brother. What's on your heart?
Is it numb rather than angry? Or have we become numb? Because we used to have a feeling about it when it all started, with reason. You can blame. You can say it's because of whatever. The because of was, but has it become? Has it gotten to the point that you're numb to it now? That's just a question, open question.
Toussaint, you there?
I was done. That was my question. Did you hear me?
No. Say that question one more time. I'm sorry.
No, have you become rather angry and stop being angry and just numb to it? To the point where, like I said, because first of all, you started off being angry because there are some that are no longer in the home, for instance, for whatever reason. But you drank the Kool-Aid. You traded a good husband or companion for food stamps and welfare.
So basically, what you're saying is you got what you get.
Now you're just numb to it. And say at the end of the day, instead of keeping a clean house, you say, I would just like you. And just live in filth. How about that?
Wow. Let me go to Shanavia. Navy, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning? We about to turn
Good morning, y'all. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Asking a question this morning. What is an angry Black woman? What is an angry Black woman? And is she justified? If she is an angry Black woman, is she justified historically the way she's been treated to be such?
Oh, my Lord. It ain't even Wednesday.
Come on.
That's such a heavy topic, man. And to be quite honest with you, my back and shoulders are hurting from having to even keep like regurgitating that narrative. It's just like, because I can't tell you, and maybe some may say this is a angry Black woman comment, but I'm tired of having to give a dissertation as to why I don't fit that stereotype, because that's exactly what it is. And historically speaking, if we want to take it all the way back, like all the way back, is she justified in that? Absolutely. I mean, look at how the Black woman, as well as the Black man, I'm not taking away from that. You specifically asked me about Black women. Look at how the Black woman was treated back in that day, in slavery days. And unfortunately, some of that same rage has just trickled down to generations. But it's interesting that if we're talking about right now, for most Black women, we're only categorized as the quote unquote angry Black woman when we set boundaries or when we're being assertive. Because historically speaking, we're the two things that have consistently been oppressed in this nation: Black and being a woman. Now, as Black men, yes, we can make the same argument to a certain degree, but as a man, you still had some rights that we still had to fight for. And so then you move on through the generations, and it's just like, okay, we're going to become housewives, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then you fast forward a few decades, and it's just like, well, Black women are gold diggers. Y'all doing too much. You're going to have to do something. So, okay, we go, we get jobs, we get educated, like, now you're trying to be men. Now you're trying to do this, and now you're an angry Black woman because you feel like we don't need men. Bro, I'm tired. I had to become the man that my mom needed, not by choice, but by force, because she had a male in the home he had provisions, but was not a provider. So yes, for a period of time until someone came along, my pops and my uncle, thank goodness, they could let me flourish in my femininity, because that could not exist from age 12 to 17. I could not be the girl. I could not be the woman. I had to be the protector. I had to be the man that my mom needed. And that's not fair to me. So we look at the behavior, and I hate that stereotype that has been pushed on. We look at the behavior, but we don't look at the cause. And that's not fair to us or anyone that has stereotypes behind them. So I don't even know if I answered the question, but I just needed to get that off my chest. So
yes, you did both. You answered the question and you got it off your chest. So very good, very good. Let's keep this thing going. We got another caller. Let me see what the next caller was. Goddess. Good morning, Goddess. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. And sister, you answered that question so well. I don't think I could do a better job, because what you said was right on point. And then the main people that's calling us angry Black women is our own men. And that's where I have a problem with. We shouldn't even be talking. This shouldn't even be a topic for us to have a conversation about, because it doesn't exist. It does not exist.
Let me ask you this question, Goddess. Do you think a piece or a part of the issue is that the conversation, the communication between the two has broken down so much, and we're not talking to each other, the men are not talking to the women, and vice versa, and we're not having these conversations to the point where we can get to a place of peace? Could that be a part of it?
No, I think the main part of it is that we're not having a conversation about economic power and how we can become united as an economic power, not the opposite. Not the opposite. Because if we're not talking about how we become economically powerful, a Black agenda, what we need to do as a group, we don't need to be talking about something negative. Because the white men sure ain't getting ready to sit there and even in the country songs and every song and demean their women. We the only one to do that. If we don't start uplifting us, because I'm gonna tell you what, we are the ones that are nature barriers. We bury you all. And we put life back into you all. And if y'all don't start putting life back in, if you have not realized right here today, if y'all don't put life back into the women, Mother Nature's gonna get y'all. God is not, we are the one. And then that's the only thing that's holding y'all, holding the whole universe back of the Black agenda.
Okay. Hold right there, sis. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there with y'all. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? I saw you react
in the loop eventually. Thank you.
Who is that?
Yeah, Hicks on that. That's Hicks. You go ahead and go to Hicks.
Go ahead, Hicks. I ain't forget about you, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, you did. You forgot about me.
Man, go ahead, man. Go ahead, Hicks.
It's true. I got to speak truth. You did, but it's cool. I think we don't see the adversary. We have an adversary. We don't see that. I think historically speaking, just the idea of people being conquered and then the enemy taking the booty, taking the woman whenever he wanted her, and us fulfilling exist. I think that when part of the strategy was to divide us as a people, and for start thinking of ourselves as a black man and a black woman instead of black people. I think because we had no power in the world, that we became tyrants in our own household. We were tyrannical because we had no power. We were frustrated for our inability to impact the world outside to get ahead. I think the woman, with her spirituality and sensitivity, she has solved a lot just because she understood our plot. But at the same time, there's an anger that's produced that's artificial, that's coming from the outside to create this separation. It's all the same rule: divide and conquer. I think that black women are angry, and is it justified? Is anger ever justified? Yeah, it could be, but it's not productive. You know, anger, you put a word in front of it, it's danger. You get angry, you destroy you destroy it. And women they have begun to identify with the feminist movement and with all women. So they identify themselves as a woman, and that means across all barriers. That's the Chinese, Asiatic, or white, whatever it is. We are women. We are powerful. We are women, and to separate the unity that we need, as like the sister just talking the Black agenda. We're not talking about empowerment of money. So there's a degree of disrespect a woman has for a man that's not producing in the world. He's designed to have an idea, to create an idea that benefits himself and his family. When she look around after years and see that he's not got it, there's an anger and frustration because she wants better for him and herself. But I think in the last 50 years that I've seen, with non-contested divorce and sexual orientation choices, I think it's produced what we see today. I think once we start identifying ourselves as black people and not as black women and black men, recognize that we're in this boat together. And that if we don't get it together, we're going to be filtered out of this whole reality. Because the women they're going to seek the man that can't provide that. And that's usually someone of the other ethic.
Okay, Mr. Let me ask you this question. Because the sister, she was saying that, we have to get to a certain level of economics. And I agree, it takes money to do certain things. But is that the answer to the issues that is dividing the black man and the black woman? Economics.
I think it's a basic thing. A woman looks for someone that's going to provide for her children into the future. I think that we don't recognize that most of what we see run around the world is run by families. These aren't individuals. They're families that get wealth, pass it down with papers in place to say, this is what you do, this is what you do. Send this kid to that school, send this one to that school. So they're developing a legacy. We don't. Our legacy, we do it in a different sense. Our legacy, those are the spiritual values. You go to Martin Luther King, different people in our history think that we look at hallmarks within a recent history, but we don't go back far enough. We don't go far enough to the glorious, the warrior spirit that we have. Whatever, when I say put to sleep, I say, Kanye said, we're slaves by choice. He's talking modern day sign these contracts, but in the same sense, it was left slave masters and slaves. But whatever was happening inside of us, a peaceful people we were open and peaceful, and generally in contrast to the rest of the world, especially if you think about Europe and the Germans and you know what they did to Africa and still doing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's economic, it's financial, and I think we have a window now with this new technology and the Bitcoin taking out the. I think that we need to do that research. There's a guy I've been researching online called 19 Keys, and he talks about putting in place these things, putting in place in the business that counteract the effects we have, because we do. We're jealous of each other. We hateful toward each other. We'll shoot each other fast. We'll shoot anybody else. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a anger inside of us, and I think that's what the society at large fear. Because if we ever come together, if we ever get unified, and if they don't change the way they are, we're gonna find our warrior spirit. Because we're warriors.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good deal.
Go to war.
Absolutely. Rico, what do you say to that, brother? Is economics the whole basis of it, or the other elements?
I think economics is the probably the worst part of it, or maybe the last part of it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think we have to have some logical reasoning on why we should be angry or unhappy about certain things. But I would hate to sit down with a group of people that want to become economically successful as a group, but they still don't realize the value of a woman. Because we exist in a society in a condition ruled by crazy, powerful white men that don't respect the value of the mother, how powerful she is. So if we as a black community can't even sit down and get that part straight, what we gonna do with that money? What we gonna be just like them? So money is not the answer, because we got black people with money that don't get the value of our sisters, of women, just in the process of life, the life cycle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes we want to crawl before we walk, because we still caught up so much in these man-made desires to the point that where we don't even understand the basic things that we need to address, which is making people realize that we don't take care of our women, we're going to come to an end. And money cannot fix that. But we jump right to economics. Come on, man. That became the major process, topic of the conversation. But we still don't realize the value of our women and why they are mad and angry black women.
Why are they angry? Morals and ethics and all kind of things. We just jumped all over that.
We need to get to the economics. We need to get to the economics. Yeah, economically successful people that don't get it right here and don't care and don't even understand. We ain't gonna get nowhere like that. So you got to have it in the hands of the right people that already get and respect the power and the true nature of woman and how she delivers life. And once we could get back down to the root of the universe and nature and what's really important, then we could talk about economics later on, that man-made system. You know, but see, this is the thing. See, I associate being unhappy with being angry. And if you have a legitimate reason to be unhappy, some people do. Some people have a legitimate reason to be angry. So you ask yourself, if you are happy and you are saying that, yeah, as a black woman, I deserve and I'm justified in being angry, tell me why. Because if you're telling me you angry because this dude that you laid down and had a baby with because he was a roughneck in the 90s or a thug in the mid-90s, or he had swag in the 2000s, and that was acceptable enough for you to lay down and make a child with, but now you see now that he doesn't have all the character to respect a woman the way that he should, or to train up his children, then who's responsible? What are you angry about? Because
let me ask you this, Rico, when it comes to economics.
Hold on, sis. Hold
Okay.
on, sis. Hold
I just want to ask.
sis,
I just want to ask.
Okay,
Rico
but hold on, sis. I got a lot of people. Let me be fair to everybody. I'll certainly come back to you. And Rico, he's gonna be here to the end. Rico, you're not going
I'll
anywhere.
be here. And to be honest with you, I probably won't even, acknowledge the economic part of it, because like I said, we don't even realize just how important it is, how important a woman is just in nature. I mean, we got to get that part understood first, and understand why the black woman may be angry, because we all say that black women deserve to be angry. Everybody has said that. But now if you come across this angry black woman and you ask her, why are you angry? Why are you unhappy? What are you fed up with? And she tell you something that doesn't relate to the past and the conditions that created these conditions and how it affects us. You know what I'm saying? If she doesn't tell you it's because, of those reasons, then you have to ask her why. And it may be because there ain't no good men out here these days. But then and then when you ask, if that's the answer, the black men don't treat you right. Well, what black men are you surrounding yourself with? What environments are you going into? Because once again, we're stereotyping and putting everybody in a group. Every black woman is an angry black woman. And every angry black woman is not angry for the right reason. Some are just angry because they're taking on that entitlement of being a queen. And I got the right to be angry because what a black woman has been through. Well, tell me what she's been through. And if you don't know, then you might just be wearing that title because you feel like it's something to be a part of.
The crown could be on the wrong head. Okay, let's go. Go ahead, Goddess. You want to ask him a question real quickly?
My question is, when I say economics, I mean community. Because see, economics is the key thing that we needed. We need to have what we are, grocery stores. We need to have jobs, not just jobs. See, that's the key things when it comes to it. We need to be the one, because if we don't spend our money, everybody else spend their money within their community 15, 20 times. And if we are not doing that, we're getting lost out. I'm going to send you this clip. And he's the only Dr. Claude, whatever his name is. I have to send you that. And he breaks it down. We're not the only minorities, and we're going to be lost out. And once and he was the department secretary, only black man of the department, whatever. We don't have any black people on our Supreme Court. We got one person that can be outvoted. If we don't start moving economically and politically together and united, we're going to be lost out. And this is coming within the next 2 years. We're going to be lost out. And that's key with also bringing the black woman into knowing who she is. Now, I agree with you on that as well. But somehow we've got to jump and move together on all that. And I don't know if that's possible. But jobs is one thing, but if we're not creating our own manufacturing companies, stuff like that, that's going to keep the things that we need to survive with.
It says,
that's what economics is about.
Okay.
Economics ain't just about money.
Okay, but you say you had a question. I want to circle back. I got a lot of people that's holding on. I want to come back to you, with respect to you for your question. What's your question?
Do you not agree with that? Because we need those things that we need to survive as a community.
Rico?
Yeah, I agree, but it goes back to what I was saying at first. First, we have to get back to the basics, because what good is a rich fool that doesn't respect his woman or his sisters and know that he has to teach his black daughters? Or what good is a rich black man that leaves outside and says that black women ain't good enough? Because, we have some that feel like every time y'all make some money, y'all gonna marry one of them white women. Economically successful.
Well,
but did they bring it back home? Or do you think they really understand the worth and the value of a black woman? I mean, so once again, does a black woman have a right to be angry? Is she justified? Depending on what she's mad and angry about. But if part of the reason is because we don't really understand the worth and value of a black woman, a dollar ain't gonna do that.
Exactly.
We gotta do something else before we get that dollar. We're gonna misappropriate the dollars, and we got enough of these people now. Kanye married Kim Kardashian. not Lil Kim.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Let's keep this thing going. Cap, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Man, I love this. Now, you want to see an angry black woman? Let me miss the daggone Morris. When you can knock on my door and you see my wife, you're going to look at an angry black woman. When a man falls short in his responsibility. Now, we're talking about couples. Now, we the single black woman have maybe different issues of why she's angry. So you'll find a married black woman, she's angry because either her man is not taking care of responsibility, or she may be angry because, they got in the bed and he came a little bit faster than her. Shit, excuse me, I'm sorry. She angry. No, not you didn't do that again. Well, baby, I mean,
Cap, you know you're in the corner, right? Cap, you know you're in that corner, right? You know you're in that corner, right?
Tucson, open up yourself, Tucson.
They put you in that padded room, man, so you can't be heard. They gonna put you in a padded room.
This ain't Wednesday. I thought this was Wednesday.
No.
I got my days mixed up, right? Get that going, bro.
Lord.
But the bottom line is,
no.
Economics, but it ain't always economics. You can imagine, man. One day I was out there with the papers selling the papers, and Lord, I seen this sister. She had two babies pulling on her wayside. She had one in her hand, and she's pushing the cart, and she's angry, and she rightfully so, because she chose to get with some trifling dude that had abandoned her and her responsibility and left her in this situation. And so, there's some women create their own anger. But in a whole, it's hard to say angry black women, because all black women not angry.
Mm-hmm.
To put that, I like what it says. Don't put that stereotype on me.
Mm-hmm.
You got angry black men. We could be angry for many reasons. We could say economics is not all of it. Because there's women that got money and she's angry because she got somebody not taking care of his responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is, I think when you ask the question, Brother Raheem, and we put that, our women, they have various reasons why they're angry. And what I deal with, I look at making sure I don't want to make this woman in this household angry, because if I make her angry, oh man, I'm living in hell after that. My life is miserable.
Exactly.
So I try to do my best to not make her upset and angry. Now, when it comes to society, how she's treated in society, it's not how the white men treat her. It ain't got nothing to do with it. It's how we treat our women. She's angry with us. I do believe this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I ask folks, she's angry with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we what happened to the man protecting her? What happened to y'all providing? How come I got to live in a community, man, where I'm losing, my child may not come back home from school and ain't nobody protecting it? There's a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that we can eliminate a lot of that anger. And then just some women just stay mad for no reason at all. Everybody know that.
Mm-hmm.
My mama used to say, I heard my man Leonard quote something about his mama. But my mama used to say, "Oh, you mad? You better scratch your butt and get glad."
Yes, sir.
That was
yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. That's what she used to say, man. So I mean, hey, man, I think I don't want to put that label on our women, but she do have a reason, in my opinion, to really be upset, especially in this day and time, man, where there's no reason, man, why we should be in this condition. And she don't want to be the breadwinner. I do believe, truthfully, this is me talking, our women don't want to be in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really believe she feels very, very comfortable being in an environment where she's being taken care of, and just let her be a woman.
Yeah.
Let her be a woman without have to worry about. And I try. I'm gonna talk about me. I'm not trying to say these brothers on here not doing it. I'm just speaking from my personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
I love to tell my wife, if she don't want to go to work, she don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
I love that. I love baby. I don't go to work then. Because the bills gonna get paid. No, they just what you getting? How much you gonna lose a day? But if I don't go to work, I say, yeah, go in my pocket. Here you go. I got that covered. Now finish sleeping. It makes her feel good that somebody else could take the helm or somebody else could. So I think we have an opportunity as you know, that she don't be sad, not angry, but sad. And I heard my man too. I said numb. In other words, she is now become desensitized because in some of our women, they don't believe there's no hope. They don't believe, man, that so she's angry because there's no hope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live like this every day. There's no, I'm upset. So I think you can't label no one particular thing why our women is upset or angry. I think there's many factors, and the best I try to do is to try to put a smile on their face.
Exactly.
It's a heck of a thing trying to change the way men think and how men treat our women. But for me to do nothing is not an option with me. It just ain't an option with me. I'm fighting against the tide, but hey, it makes me feel good if I can put a smile on one sister's face. Hey, man, I tried my best. That's all. And the best is the best I could do.
Exactly.
That's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Good deal. Let's go. We're going to go in this order. We're going to go Navy, Badger, Leonard, and then we're going to go on Tucson. And we have another caller, two caller. We're coming to you next. So, Navy, what's on your heart, sis?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of what Cap just said, because no, we don't want to be in the driver's. I will gladly sit on the passenger side. I'll even get in the back seat. I don't care. I don't want to have to take out the shirt. I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to be my most feminine self. That does not mean that it's just like, okay, I don't want to do anything. But I also feel like that because of where I am in my life right now, because I did go and do all of the things that I felt like I needed to. I am trying to make myself, I want to be able to bring something. I bring the table to the table. So I'm not 100% reliant upon you, but that does not mean that I don't need you. And I think that's the biggest thing that just behooves me, that just because a woman, and especially a Black woman, has, I don't know, she's able to provide certain things from herself, most of the time by force, not necessarily by choice, because again, I go back to what I originally said. I had to become the husband that my mother needed at 13. So there was a part of me that had to be, for a lack of better terms, hard and guarded, because if not, that could have meant that may have been my last night, literally. So it wasn't until someone, and I credit my uncle and my pops for allowing me and showing me, because the good things that I am able, that little glimmer of hope that y'all were talking about earlier, I have to credit those two men for that.
Yes.
That was because my mom couldn't give me that, because she was, and it's not angry. I really want to, like, I don't think most Black women, I can't speak for all Black women, but yet I'm having to speak for all Black women, if that makes any sense when it comes to this topic. And that's why I said I'm tired. My mom couldn't give that to me. She wasn't angry. She was hurt and she was tired.
Wow.
As I grew up, I was angry, because I'm like, I didn't ask for any of this. But yeah, there's a man in the home that's dictating and feeling like that we should bow down and worship him. And if not, there were consequences to that. So as a young Black girl, my mom can't pour into me something that she doesn't have. And I'm living in a dictatorship. How else am I supposed to view the world as a Black woman? And then whenever you're having this narrative of you're this and you're that, and you're none of those things, but because you are guilty by association of being a Black woman, you carry all of this other stuff. So now I'm annoyed at that. I'm annoyed. Because I'm none of those things that you're talking about, but yet I'm all of those things because I'm guilty by association. So personally, I'm not angry, because I've taken the time to heal those parts of myself, and I'm continuously healing on that. And I say all the time, your trauma may not be your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And I think until both Black men and women can acknowledge that part of it, then I think we'll continue to have this conversation. But I'm not angry. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to answer for previous Black women that may not have been angry, but just tired and fed up in their situation, whether they asked to be with it, whether it was a self-inflicted wound or not. I'm tired of having to carry that.
Exactly.
But I'm not angry. And I think that there is a responsibility that we have to heal those parts of ourselves and ask ourselves, not anyone else, ask ourselves, why does that still make me angry? Or is it anger? Because sometimes when we have a conversation with our anger, we'll really find out that it was grief.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. That's good. That's good. Badger, talk to me. What's on your heart, brother?
Man, you know how I am with these topics.
Come on.
There is so much involved, you know, and someone made a comment on Twitch, you know, about how much open arms they've received from Black women. I can say the same. You know, and that's that. It's always been wild to me because when I first started getting involved in like Black communities and stuff like that, I didn't see a lot of what y'all were talking about. You know, a lot of times if the women were fed up with something and didn't like what the man was doing, they'd say something. But they do it in a respectful manner. You know, John, more of a, are you sure you want to do that? Kind of thing. And nowadays, there has been so much toxicity on both sides for so long that it's honestly, it's what Captain Dennis said earlier. A lot of it is fighting one another about sex or race or whatever, and that's what it is. You've got a bunch of nasty men that put half-naked women on everything, and you got a bunch of weak men that allow it to alter the way that they're doing things. They should know that it's not all right to behave that way. But they choose to do it otherwise. So, envy, lust, greed. Yes, economics were involved to some degree. I can't tell you how many times me and my wife were told to get a divorce so she'd get more access to things. Guess what she said? No. So, there's a lot of different situations, and we can't use none of it as a blanket term for all of the different relationships, all of the different men, all of the different women. There are women that are gold diggers. There are women that are absolutely gold heart, like beautiful gold. Just you want them to be preachers, like Willa and Cassandra and Navy and things like that. And then you got everything in between. Everything is a spectrum in life, and the more we use blanket terminology, we're just going to develop more issues and more fighting that's going to continue for the next 20 years.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
On what Badger just said, the last sentence, I can definitely agree with that because, you know, I tend to listen more when it comes to these types of things that have a whole different perspective. And it has to do, you know, because sometimes I don't believe people want help. So I don't just go overboard with trying to diagnose them and all these types of things. If you say, our women, I don't have I got one woman. That's the one I'm worried about. These are not my women.
Wow.
They don't belong to me. Good to hear you this morning, Goddess. I like hearing Goddess. You know, like one, I love hearing Goddess's point of view, but that doesn't mean that I agree with everything Goddess says. I respect women as equal human beings. I always have. I used to have the notion that they were somehow better, but I found out it was just the type of women that I was raised around. who had proven that they were better because they held things together. They were in leadership. Their men didn't have issues with them doing what they're supposed to do. Things were in the proper perspective and proper place. And once things got out of place, it was very noticeable. And so they had to be realigned, so to speak. But to first of all, start off with this notion of ownership of women, I think we need to disband that period. I think what's best for our community is a man picks a woman that he chooses to love and be responsible for, and that's who he's responsible for. Now, women, I'm not sure because I'm not a woman. I can listen to what they say they want.
Yes,
but that's not my job to dictate it to them or anything of that nature. But this notion that somehow, well, they trying to who put some real words to it and quit using these blanket terms to never get to a solution or never resolve the problem.
That's good.
Because a lot of us here, we're not single. So we ain't, I mean, I don't know how many women y'all got, but I only deal with one. Been dealing with that same one for the last 24 years.
Man, look here. I got one, and it's been 26 years with me, man. I'm
just saying. So, one,
hey.
I'm not sure what the point of view is of some people, but I'm just listening because one, a long time ago, what a lot of people doing wasn't for me.
That's good.
How I behave or get up or get around.
Good deal. Good deal. We're gonna go to Toussaint Hicks, and then we're gonna go to Joseph. Joseph just called in. So Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I wanted to I missed some of the conversation because I was gone. Okay. Where are we now? What are we talking about?
We're talking about angry black women and historically.
Oh, we're still on that.
Yeah, and historically, do they have a right to be angry?
Okay, so I'm not trying to discredit what anybody says. Okay, but I had to look up something because it was brought up. A branch of knowledge concerned with the production, consumption, and transfer of wealth. Let me ask a question for a friend. You think that's going to solve problems in the home? It hadn't yet. There are some that are doing very well by themselves, and they still mad. All you have to do with them driving that fine, got a nice car, and you should see that house. Oh my God, you got to take your shoes off when you get in the house because they don't want you to walk on that fine floor carpet. Oh boy, they're just nice, and their hair is just as beautiful, and them eyelashes and the makeup, and oh boy, they're beautiful women and the powerful, strong, mighty women of God. You can't tell them nothing because they don't know how to keep their mouth shut. And I'm not saying silence them. I'm just saying talk too much. Not only I'm not saying that, that's not everybody, but you can't approach them because they are unapproachable. How you can't say
unapproachable?
Okay, good. Can't because they. I mentioned the word numb. To resolve, because we are magnetized by finances. That's our solution. Prosper, wealth, achieving. And when we achieve, we're still unhappy and we're mad. And them that are supposed to be our help to unify, you don't want no parts of them because the damage has already been done. So economics, and I'm not saying I'm just trying to I agree with Goddess, but I also, and I'm not trying to call nobody. I'm not. I'm good with I'm not good with words. I have a word. I thrive on words.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say, okay, if we haven't achieved the economics because of one reason or the other, that's one of the reasons, then I beg to differ.
Wow.
Because one thing about it is we're raising y'all. We raise y'all. We are the birth. But you see, we're not raising. You're raising, but you're not raising men. You're raising women with something that men have.
Wow.
But they don't act. They don't act like, I'd be wondering, why is this dude smacking his lips?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, but I'm not thriving on one thing, but I'm saying, let me use this for example, and I shut up. At my job, I look at these thriving females, us, but they thrive and they put the brothers down on their way up.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work Saturday, came into work Saturday, and I went to assist another supervisor. And she wanted me to do the work that her workers was doing to help her out while they walk around. You know what I did? Took my badge out of the computer and went home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work. The devil is a lie. I get somebody to work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, on your way up, can't get them to do, it'll never be done on my back. But I wish I would. I'm going to the house.
Exactly. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, sir.
Yes, sir. I was thinking about the point of economics, and I thought the very basics of that is food, shelter, and clothing. In the recent history, these things were supplied to us by the master.
Mm-hmm.
He supplied our food, shelter, and clothing. When emancipation, as they say, or freedom came, that burden rested on the family, on the black man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that on just my experience, that element of anger or frustration, it comes out of the man not providing these basics.
Mm-hmm.
And when he can't provide those basic consistent, there's a level of anger inside the woman and frustration inside the man. Again, I think when they divide us up as being black man or black woman, out of seeing us as a unit and us operating as a unit, as a family, it became our destruction and basis of what we define as an angry black woman. And I don't think black women are angry. I think it's more frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They prefer a strong warrior man. I mean, able to protect them physically, emotionally, and all those other ways. But when he's falling short because he don't know who he is, he's lost sight of his history. It's the same thing with the woman. Lost sight of the history. What are the things that make these things that are happening that we see now? What are the root of those?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we solve that rather than getting angry? But
exactly.
I'm enjoying the conversation, and I appreciate the feminine energy in this conversation.
Absolutely. Joseph, what is an angry black?
Good morning.
Good morning. So how you doing this morning?
Good. How's everybody?
Hey, doing good, brother. Doing good. Asking the question, man. What is an angry black woman? And historically, throughout the annals of time, is she justified in being such?
Well, I think she's feeling some of the same strains that the black male feels as well, looking at the system anyway. And then when you're dealing with a person who has been traumatized and don't know how to represent in the household, that is frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a brother who has the attitude that, the woman is a sex object or something like that. Well, that's a problem to begin with.
Yes.
That explains all the many children out of wedlock. But there again, education is important. But I see the strain, the frustration of many of our women. Yet, when I look at my childhood, one of the first models of a man or husband and wife was my first grade teacher, whose husband, Mr. Roland Buchanan, was our superintendent of schools. He was a deacon at the church. She was a devout churchgoer. And I didn't see that angry Black woman in that. And many of the other professionals that were educating us in Helena, Arkansas. And so I guess those types of examples stood out with me. I tried to gravitate to every positive image that I could growing up, because I went through the same, thing as other young Black males went through in my hometown. Some of us may have had a, slightly different experience, but I mean, by 11 years old, I was hanging out in the juke joints, downing beers and shooting pools and listening to Al Green on the jukebox. So, that's how I was rolling in my preteens, and I accelerated when I got to my teens. So, but those images, those positive images, were my references. That's what I wanted to be like when I grew up and, called myself going to enter into this serious relationship with a woman. That's what I wanted to be like, the Buchanans, Miss Florine Buchanan and Mr. Roland Buchanan.
Yes. That's good. That's good. That's good. Examples, role models.
Yeah.
That's what's very that's what's very important. Willa!
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow team.
Good morning to you, sis.
Good morning.
Good to have you, sis. We're asking a question. I need to hear your heart on this, Willa. What is an angry Black woman, and throughout the annals of time, is she justified in being angry? Rico, come to you next.
Well, certainly I can answer that question because I am a woman and I have been angry at certain times, but I don't allow that to continually to linger on in my life. The anger comes from frustrations, experiences in life that you were disappointed at, unresolved issues that has happened in our lives. I mean, there are so many things underneath that umbrella we can't even say it, or we don't have time on this radio show to even announce it. But to say, are we justified? Surely we are. We're justified when people disappoint us and when we put trust in people. I'm not going to just blame men, because there are women that disappoint us too. Our parents might have disappointed us. Our best friends might have disappointed us. So yeah, Raheem, we are very much justified at being angry, but in order to resolve that, we have to disroot whatever it is and not carry it on continuously in our life if we want a better life. And that's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico?
There's a lot of behaviors that come with being angry. And you notice people with these behaviors, sometimes they have attitudes, they're mean, and they just look mean all the time. They never smile. And, you might have to interact with these people sometimes. Maybe through customer service.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to interact with these people because you need something important done and they just don't appreciate the job. I had to go to my son's school one morning. This young girl had a real little nasty attitude. I got all right. So I just drove her 6.5 hours. And I get here and you got some little attitude about something I ain't got nothing to do with. Where they find y'all at? What you mad about? What you mad about?
Yeah.
If you could tell me what you mad about, since you giving me this attitude, you are displaying this behavior, I might be able to agree that you're justified. I understand. I'd be mad too. But then you have to have a logical reason to be mad. So I heard some words, man, from our sisters that they're frustrated.
Yeah.
Because life still goes on. And they shouldn't have to do some of these things that they are doing out of necessity. And they wish everything was in order instead of being out of order like the way it is, which probably, if they are economically self-sufficient, still frustrated because they don't have that family structure that money can't buy. So somewhere these women are still getting out here getting it. I got the money, I got the red bottoms, I don't need no man, but I'm unhappy, man. I got an attitude. Why? Because it's still that family structure missing. So once again, the things that are necessary, we got past that and went to the economics and finding out that it ain't working. You know, I try my best to try to be an asset, man, you know, to bring positivity and light, because I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people lean on my shoulders, man, a lot of unhappy, frustrated women. And I had one tell me last night, you know, she likes to debate. She said that I like to debate. She said that I'm always being mean and negative, and I don't want to try to come off as being mean or negative. I always try to be kind and try to be, you know, uplifting to people. And before I come off as being mean and negative and making you frustrated and make you mad, I'm gonna do you a favor and remove myself. Because I don't want you thinking that I'm that way either. I don't want to be the reason why you are mad and angry. And once you tell me why, if you're justified, I can agree. Maybe I can fit some of it if I can. But if you ain't justified, then, you know, you have to ask yourself some questions. Why are you really mad and angry? Is it just because that's the way of life? Are you wanting to fit that stereotype? You want to be that mammy that the master used to sit back and say, oh, you don't want me to go tell so-and-so, she'll whoop your butt. You know, mammy don't play that. You want to be that woman, that mad, aggressive woman that's just mean for no reason, or you want to be that mad, aggressive man for no reason? But I know this is going to be a little long, man, but this sort of applies. As we was talking, man, it was a post came down, and it was the title is Single Mother of Two Kills Herself After Battling Depression and the Stress. Remember that word, stress, of raising 2 kids alone by herself. She ain't got that family structure. She's doing it all alone. So she actually left a note because nowadays people will kill themselves and they go to social media and put their notes out there. They actually go to social media reaching out for help sometimes. But they'll put the suicide notes on social media. And she said, having to do this S word alone has really made me a lot stronger and shows me that I am capable of doing anything. But at the same time, I want to breathe. I want to be able to go to the restroom at least once without little kids following my ASS. I want to be able to sleep in because I don't want to have to get up just because kids are up. I want a break. She said that in all caps. And I'm comfortable enough to say that now and not get what no one says or not care what no one else says. Yeah, it's GAF, give AF what no one says, because I am human. See, these are human beings that are stressed out and frustrated, having to do things out of necessity. Maybe because they made a bed. But once again, they got out of order because they didn't make that bed the right way with a man, a family structure. Maybe they chose the wrong man. What was the reason why you chose that man? It's these reasons that these women are mad and angry. And some is based on society and some of those, but I'm going to finish. She says, I'm checking out. She out of here. I'm sorry, but I can't keep battling depression. To the ones that were really there, I love y'all. If I do succeed at this, please make sure my kids are okay, please. She killed herself. Wow. Frustrated, mad, depressed, stressed out. Some of it because of society. Some of it based off the fact that maybe she got with men that tricked her and deceived her. Maybe she got with the wrong men. But the fact remains that she is justified in being angry. If I was to ask her, why are you mad? What you mad about? When you tell me what you're mad about, I might be able to understand.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 924-3521. Got a few more minutes before we get out of here. Let me go to Stanley. Stanley, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir. Doing good. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Asking a question. What is an angry Black woman? And throughout the history of time, is she justified in being one if she is angry?
Well, some are justified and some aren't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of Black women are angry about the situations they're in. Like, sound like we could read something there, maybe that might have done by a single mother or something. I'm not sure because I came in on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are angry because they do have kids outside the marriage and feel like the men are not taking care of them the way they should, you know, and a lot of them are just angry because of the way they grew up. They might have been mistreated growing up. They grow up as they become adults, wind up in the same situation that they came out of and still angry about that. But Black women are normally the backbone of the family. But a lot of them are just, you know, like they have been mistreated and misguided and lied on and lied about and lied to all these years. So some of them are justified in their anger and some are not. So like a lot of them just angry about the situation. Some are putting themselves in the same situation by having kids by 2 and 3 different men, or some of them, but the guys really lied to them. I love you, baby. I'm gonna marry you. Let's start a family and all that. And then the guys, you know, walk out on them without ever marrying them and leave them with 1 or 2 children and no support. So they could be angry about that as well. So there's a lot of different elements to that.
It is. There's a whole lot of different layers tied into this thing here, man. Let me go to Goddess. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis? Goddess, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. There you
I
go.
just had to find the button. I was just sitting up listening to a few folks. I know that one of them spoke about when I had mentioned about we raising our men, but I wasn't able to elaborate because we're quickly we're raising some of our men and without men in the household, and our men are not coming out like having a man in the household. They're becoming more sensitive. They're taking on more characters of their mothers instead of what a man is supposed to be out here doing. And some of us women that were raised in households, as my sister was saying, that are raised in households. Now she grew up in the household, according to what she stated, it was a dictatorship. Well, I grew up in a household where it wasn't a dictatorship, where we sat down and had a round table meeting, but the final answer was my father.
Yeah.
If he didn't agree with whatever the situation, he gave us an opportunity to speak on it. But the final answer still was my father because he was the head of the household. Now, not saying that my mother didn't, and if my mother disagreed with something, she still followed my father. And I grew up with a household like that. But when my father said, okay, well, Marguerite, you spoke, we stand on what you say. So it was always a give and take.
Yeah.
It was never always a dictatorship. And now the women in our household, we end up there's no man to confer with back and forth. There's no man to sit back and give us the manly point of view or to teach our men how to be men. Nowadays they sitting up, our best thing is a mother, and that's not always our fault. But we just know we want to keep our sons safe because there's so much stuff out there. Okay, son, instead of you going outside playing basketball or working on a car or whatever, I want you in the house. Because I know that I can control, as long as you in closed doors or whatever, I can control what goes on in there. I can't control what goes on outside. So now we have softened our men. They're not out here learning how to fix on cars. They can't change tires. They don't know how to change oil. They don't. I mean, and just that simple stuff right there is extra money too. They can make side money just doing certain stuff like that. Some of them don't even know how to cut grass because their mother never lived in the house.
Yep.
So we're not, but we raise our men in the best way we know how. And we do need our men because some of us want to sit down. So I have to teach my daughter how to change her oil. I have to check her oil. It's a lot of things that as a woman, I have to sit down and do because now there's no man in the household. He's gone. And there's no man that's stepping up that's coming in to help out.
That's good. That's good.
So I have to show her how to cut grass. So, is that making me angry? No. But, yes, because I want to sit down and be a lady.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's good, sis. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Navy, what's on your heart?
A lot, but I'll just sum it up as this. I appreciate the conversation, first of all. Let me say that.
Praise God.
And I think that when we can be honest about what the root cause is, it's so many layers to this, and we've only hit the tip of the iceberg because, when you're looking at really and truly, I think everyone has kind of hit on to some degree the mental, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, and even the financial aspects of what we're talking about with this one topic. But there's so many layers that it goes into. But I think the most important thing is can we just humanize one another? Because when we put this label of the angry Black woman, or even the strong Black woman, child, don't call me. I don't want to be strong Black woman anymore. And I understand that it was a term of endearment, but it also made us as though we were not human. And I think it's the same narrative to me. This is just the way that I feel as a Black woman whenever I hear those two terms, angry Black woman and strong Black woman. It's just like, so when do I just get to be a woman? When do I just get to be a woman?
That's good.
And so I think that comes with a lot of other stereotypes whenever we're called that. But can we just humanize one another again? And that's it. That's all I got.
Good deal. Good deal, Badger.
I vibe with that. Like, it's literally what we were saying earlier. There are people that are out for themselves, and there are people that are for others. It's a spectrum. Using blanket terms causes more issues than it does solve them. It's just fact. You can't group a group of people all together as one. It never works out well because not everyone thinks the same. So when we approach concerns or issues like what we're talking about, we have to look at what has been done in the past, what has changed, what is still going on, what is toxic, what is not, and how do we move forward. Not hold on to, but a man thinking that they own a woman, that is toxic. A woman telling a man that they ain't big enough. Y'all get I shouldn't have to go into details on that. That's toxic. So there's toxicity on both sides, and not everyone's guilty. Some are guilty, some ain't. Some say things purely out of ignorance because they don't know no better. And then there are those that are just straight up, they ain't all right human beings. But but to bring it all back around from the topic we started this morning, we are responsible for our actions, There might be things that are slightly outside of our control in our communities and societies. However, we as individuals are responsible for our choices and actions and how we treat other human beings, including ourselves.
Exactly. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
Nothing. No. I'm sorry. Let me go to
What did you just say?
I didn't say nothing, but I'm sorry. That's all I said. I didn't say nothing, but I'm sorry. What I thought about is the trickle down effect, and everybody's kind of hitting on that, and we've gone all the way through history, and now my daughter's changing oil. I'm not trying to throw it. I'm just saying that actually, really, my daughter is changing oil. Well, what? The children. She didn't have them children by herself, but she's changing oil. Really, I'm not saying that, and I know God has said that, but my daughter is having to change her own oil, more probably more in her own grass too. Choices we make in life comes to the point where we have to find a resolve, because we recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
Rather than going back to how the wheel was created. Family, structure. If you start off with doing things wrong, the results of it's not going to turn out right.
That's true.
We try to make wrong right and right wrong. No. Start off right. And I'm not throwing anything out at my daughter or anybody else, because I made the same mistakes. We get in relationships and we start off and we try to get stuff first. We even children first, and there's no ring, no commitment. So the structure, the original structure, is offset, and then we have to make up for it, and we justify it by having a good bank account. And we still remain angry.
Exactly.
Both of us. Because I'm just as mad as we say the black woman is, because it's hard to find one of them black women that's strong and know how to cook a good meal.
Family structure. Wow, that's good. Well,
Hey, Raheem.
what's on your heart, sis? Cap, coming to you, then we're going to close it up.
And this is a wonderful conversation, because it definitely brings awareness to us as women that we can be angry sometimes, and we don't realize how angry we get with our attitudes. And, sometimes people just wash things up underneath the rug and say, well, okay, maybe things will change. But if you don't bring things to the surface and recognize that there is a problem, then you look like you do have an attitude. Like what Rico said. He said people were looking at him like he was a negative person, or that he was something that wasn't positive. Well, I certainly don't hear that in this conversation. But for some reason or somebody saw that. So as individuals, we need to recognize when people bring that to our attention, and then we need to try to change it some kind of way. Let's just root whatever is making us angry. And that's what's on my heart, Raheem.
Good deal, Cap.
Well, Will is my girl. I mean, she's good at articulating, and I totally agree with. We have to really. I love the fact that we changed it from anger to frustration. I think that really gave a better picture than the word angry. I think frustration will lead to anger. I think we're living in a society where every day, when my man Rico read a woman absolutely sit down and wrote her suicide note, he read it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then wait a minute, and then at the end, she said, "Take care of my children."
Yes.
That was like, well, why did you leave?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand that you cannot understand the magnitude of a depressed mind or stressed mind. I understand it. But you tell in your suicide and take care of my two. Well, who's better to take care of your two than you?
Mm-hmm.
But your two was the reason you took her life, according to what he was saying. She wanted to go to Barbara. So evidently, it's kind of like, wow, let's just take care of your two, but it was your two that caused you to do what you do. With any human being, let me put it that way, it got nothing to do with black, white, or whatever your gender may be. We have all had come to a certain point in our life, one time or another, where we were depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Depression is the mother. Depression is the mother that leads to suicide. Most suicide, not all, most suicide are led by depression. So depression gives birth to that mindset. But I think that we just have to be able to recognize that most human beings, I don't mean they're mentally disturbed because they desire, but we have a problem, Houston. And more people today are entertaining or taking their lives. It's very scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's real scary because I've never in my life, I'm 68 years old, I've seen the magnitude of people that just absolutely take their life.
Yeah.
But I have been in some dark places myself. And when you talk about angry black women, I've got to tip my hat, so help me God. Just look at our women today, black women in particular, have been victims. This Holly, a woman, listen to me, they have not been a victim of some form, listen to me, of physical abuse, mental abuse, or sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, she still gets up every day.
Yes.
If a woman can't take care of two, my mother had 12. Lord have mercy. I had 12 brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to me, this is God's truth. I never seen my mother depressed. Never seen my mother depressed. And she had 12. You get depressed for two.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 12. And look at, and the condition was worse to the day. But you can't tell the level of which since someone, that means they have lost hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we get to that stage in life, God has to come in. That's all we got, family. I don't know what you say you believe in, but man, God has to be the strength. He has to be the rock. Because without God, without us waking up in the morning knowing there is something greater than myself that can change my reality, then I would be depressed and I would want to get out of here too. Who want to live in a world that is so insensitive, so insensitive that sex trafficking, you take little girls, and who want to live in a world where life is of no value? You can take a life over a sneaker, tennis shoe, or take someone's car, or they mad because they didn't give you a pocketbook, or they didn't give you a wallet. So I just pray to God, Raheem, I thank you so much. I don't think our women is angry, they're more frustrated. And please don't let the frustration lead to depression.
Exactly.
Please don't let depression lead to want to take your life. I love these beautiful women that's on this line.
Absolutely.
And the men here.
Absolutely.
And I think this crew that you got right here on Morning Glow, if the women would ask us a question one day, if you ask every woman over there, is there a question you want to ask us men on Morning Glow that you really want to know that's bothering you about black men? I think this is the best crew to give the best answer. But I do believe because these brothers are on this line with us, they already know how we roll.
Exactly.
So maybe they want to ask the question to somebody else, but not Morning Glow, because I think we done covered everything. I told my wife, she said, well, how you come this subject? I said, Raheem would come up with the subject like, Rico, how come the ant got 12 legs? Can you tell me why the ant got 12 legs? Anybody, we're going to go, Rico, why the ant got 12 legs? But I mean, where you come up with that? You know? And if he got 12 legs, could he operate with 9? That's the way. Could he operate with 9? Rico, would you answer that question? And you know what? Rico would answer it. Well, I'm saying that. But the beauty of this crew, we try to solve the problems by talking about. And by the time we get around 3 times you ask us, we got a different opinion.
Yeah.
If you don't wait to get the captain after 3 times, I get my round 3 times, you have taught us, Ryan, discipline. We have to wait. Nobody break ranks. You won't get to us. And you taught us discipline. Just wait. He gonna get there. He gonna get there. So he taught us discipline. He taught us to respect each other's opinion, value each other's opinion. Don't judge each other. If you can't say something positive about each other, then don't say nothing negative.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raheem,
Praise
for giving
God.
us this beautiful opportunity, man. I love everybody on here. I know you going over. May God bless you and Morning Glow.
Yes, sir. To God be the glory. Absolutely. We're about to get out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. Rico, what's on your, well, tell me what's going on at 3 o'clock. I ask you what's on your heart, man. We're going to be here for another 25 minutes, ain't it, brother? Come on now.
What's up, brother? So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody just realize family comes first.
Yes.
If we start most of these conversations off with that mindset, if we wake up every day with that mindset that nothing is more important than life and family comes first, then we could start working in that order and using the trickle effect in a different way of knowing what's important. And I'm supposed to stop using that interior word because I'm almost about to use it in my regular language. But if you missed today's show, it would like to hear us see the rebroadcast as a whole from beginning to end.
Man.
You want to see the entire rebroadcast, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com. I let Raheem say that other word because I said it the other day. I said it the other day in New York, man, and somebody looked at me like, what? And I was like, man, I'm starting to say it subconsciously. And that ain't what I'm fixing to do. So I'm fixing to have to retrain that and get that out of my thought process, man.
There you go. It's been there for a minute, huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look here, we're about to get out of here, man. But I got one more name I got to call. Let me see. Hold on. Willa!
Hey, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. Let's go.
Are you ready? I heard Miss Higgs said it too. He said, Willa, I heard him over there. Well, are you ready?
I'm ready. Raheem, I am so ready to receive God's word. Let's go. Let's go to his throne, Raheem.
You sure you ready?
Yes,
Raheem, I am ready. Let's go.
Well, I ain't got nothing but one more thing to say. And I'm going to say it right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go to the throne of grace this morning. Let's go with boldness, confidence, and expectation. Father, we thank you so much for waking us up this morning, giving us that opportunity to get it right with you, Lord. Father, we thank you for the message. Father, we thank you for the message not to cast our pearls among the swine. We thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for bringing attention and awareness to the virtuous women that you have produced and made for your great men and leaders in this land. We thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord, Father, and we receive that message, Lord. But we're asking you, oh Lord, to help us, Lord. Tear back those linings of frustration and mistrust, Lord. Help those relationships, the marriages, Lord. The marriages that you commended together, Lord. Father, help them to continually go on, Lord. Father, let them know that you are the key. Father, let them know that you continually offer grace and mercy, even when we don't deserve it. Thank you for the knowledge, Lord. We thank you for the understanding. And we thank you for the Holy Spirit lining us up with your will and showing us your ways. We thank you, Lord, for the power that you give us, oh Lord. We thank you for your word that heals us, oh Lord. Father, we thank you for your word that comforts us and give us peace, Lord. We thank you. We thank you for your promises, Lord, that you keep them even when we don't. We thank you, Lord. I'm asking you, oh Lord, to touch each and every last one that's on this line, Lord. Continually to keep Raheem safe. Continually to give him messages, Lord, because we know that it's your plan and not ours. We love you, Lord, honor you, glorify you, and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. We thank you, Lord, in advance. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Look at here. A lot of them seem to get okay. I was reading the topic. What somebody said. It's been a great broadcast, man. I definitely want to thank everybody. Great broadcast today. Thank you, young lady. I appreciate you. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:18. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. See you tomorrow morning. God say the same.